Hi guys, thanks so much for stopping by. So today I will be doing a gardening product review, and this is from Miracle Grow's all-purpose plant food. This is the water soluble version, and this is in the 4-pound box. When I was talking about Miracle Grow before in my other videos, I have a ton of Miracle Grow products and a ton of Miracle Grow fertilizer. It was by chance that it was a really good price at one of my local nurseries, so I took advantage of it and I bought like a few $100s worth. But this was way before I was having problems with Miracle Grow products, and I'm just stuck with like over 10 containers combination of this as well as the bloom booster, but they're all like in the same type of container. They're all 4 pounds. This was probably my first ever fertilizer that I used for my plants, outdoor and indoor. I have tried the spikes before. I've also done the, what else do they have? The time release. This one for me is the best that I've ever, it's best to suit with me. I feel like it performs the best in the way that I'm using them, if that makes any sense. Some people are more successful with the spikes. Some people are more successful with the time release. I am just more successful with this one. So, the good thing about Miracle Grow is that it is probably the cheapest fertilizer you could get. You could get it locally, and if they do run out, and if you want the bigger ones because they're cheaper, everything will be linked down below, so I can let you guys know. Sorry about that, so that you know where to get it. All the time, whatever I'm using on my face right now, my skincare regime, every single video that I do and you see my face, they're all going to be in the description section as much as possible. And again, if you're new to my channel, my videos, I always put as much as possible everything that I'm talking about or what you see in the description section, so it's easier for you guys to find where it is and have more information that maybe I wasn't providing. It does have directions. It will tell you the directions here. It will tell you information on this section and then the directions here. So I want to emphasize on the indoor versus outdoor formulation, because it says here, indoor plants mix 1/2 a teaspoon. It comes in 2 scoops. Let me just get that real quick. So this is what the scooper looks like. It looks like this. So it says here, 1 teaspoon, 1/2 teaspoon, so there would be this one. It's already pre-measured per gallon every 2 weeks. That's for the indoor plants. For the outdoor, mix 1 1/2 tablespoons, which is this, per 1 1/2 gallon. Okay, a lot of people are confused about that, and I will explain that. The reason you only need a smaller amount for your indoor plants is because you're not getting all the elements. You're not getting all the elements in regards to like, typical rain. There's more dirt that could spread the fertilizer on. It is more digested because your plants there will actually have more sunshine. And everything else that is natural and organic will be out there. The reason it's bigger is because a lot of times when it's raining, it will flush it down. It will spread it more. And it's also using a lot of it faster due to the sunshine, the natural daylight. When you have the indoor plants, your light is limited. Now, the amount of light is very essential when it comes to that, because the amount of light really does ensure that your plants are going to be digesting whatever nutrients you're giving them. So the less light you provide to your plants, the less watering you need, as well as fertilizing you need, because it won't be able to digest all of those nutrients and all the, you have to think that water is basically their food, or and they're not going to digest that unless there is a lot of sun that they can, or light that they can absorb and ingest. So make sure your leaves are also very clean, because I've noticed a lot of people do not really clean their plants, or they have a very dusty house. And how to really avoid and having to clean your leaves is just making sure your house isn't very dusty. As long as you vacuum your floors all the time, it'll be fine. Just so you know, a lot of people, don't really know that, especially if you're new in the gardening world, is that if your leaves aren't clean, they won't be able to absorb as much light. In turn, they won't be able to digest the nutrients that you provide them, and so they won't grow as fast, they won't grow as big, and of course you will be watering them less. That's why when you have plants that are like, you put them in a low light situation, they don't really need to be watered as often. If you notice your plants in a high light situation, right next to a bright window, right next to a window that has 12-hour light, you'll notice that you will have to water that plant a lot more frequently than a lot of people usually do, just because of the light. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why. Just make sure you don't mix that up, because I've known people, my mother-in-law especially, she used the outdoor one. She didn't want to mix for the indoor. She didn't have a container to mix for the indoor. So she used the outdoor one and the indoor one, and her plants died. So I just really want to emphasize about that, because it's very heartbreaking to see other people's plants die, especially if it's your own plant. And I want everybody to, be aware of that fact. Again, this is the most affordable fertilizer, I think. And it is the one that is pretty much in every single store, the big box stores that sell plants, gardening stores, things like that. This is usually there. And if you prefer a different fertilizer, which I do now, but I have to go through so much of the Miracle-Gro that I'm not going to be able to test that probably right away. I can maybe, because I do have a lot of outdoor plants, and I can just reserve this for my outdoor plants, but we'll see. I haven't made that decision yet. Just so you know, anytime you buy Miracle-Gro products, I would encourage you to please keep your receipts. Make sure you scan your receipts, because when you get receipts from the store, they do fade. So make sure you keep that, because I've had really big problems with Miracle-Gro, and I couldn't find my receipts, and they said they couldn't really help me unless I had receipts. So I don't want that to happen to anybody else. Do I recommend Miracle-Gro? Yes. It's probably not the best fertilizer out there, from what I've heard, but I don't know. From my experience, you follow the directions, they work amazing. If you don't follow the directions and you do something like what my mother-in-law did, and you use the outdoor and the indoor, then your plant is probably going to die, because you're over fertilizing it. And also, I would just like to explain, when you have an indoor plant, the reason the concentration of the fertilizer is smaller is because it sits in a pot. It never really gets flushed by rainwater. It's not going to be, it's not going to leave the dirt that quickly. So that's why you only need very little. So you just be very, very careful with that. So just follow the directions. A little bit goes a long way. I do have a lot of plants. However, I don't use this for all my plants, because I have succulents, I have fiddly fig trees, I have orchids, and I have bonsai, and certain plants have certain fertilizer requirements. So the plants that would fit with this one would be your very typical house plant, like a red Siam Chinese evergreen, the ZZ plant. I use this. I use a snake plant with this. I use, what else do I use? My pothos, I use that. I use my peace lily with it. So pretty much if it's not a plant that requires a specific NPK ratio, NPK means nitrogen, potassium, and oh good gosh, I forgot the K. I forgot the K. Those are just the nutrients that helps with your plants. And if it doesn't require a specialty fertilizer, then this should be okay. But please double check on what kind of NPK ratio your plant might need due to that. Because if you use this for something like an orchid, this has urea, and orchids will be harmed and can die when you have urea in it. Urea is it's more of a salt content, and it can dehydrate and kill your plants. So do not use this in orchids or certain plants like fiddle leaf fig. This can also harm your fiddle leaf fig. So don't do that. I believe, where is the NPK for this? NPK. I know I found it the other day because I was looking for it. So the NPK ratio, it says here, is 24, 8, and 16. So that would mean nitrogen is 24. Oh, phosphate is not. Phosphate is 8. And then soluble potash is 16%. And it does say it has urea. Urea is usually in the nitrogen section. So if you're looking for fertilizers that do not have urea, double check the back label like that. And try to see underneath the nitrogen section if it does say it has urea. If it has urea, do not use this in certain plants like orchids or fiddle leaf fig, because that will destroy your plant. A little bit goes a long way, but if you do have a lot of plants like I do, it can go really quickly. I actually use this for outdoors as well, and so far last season, like last summer, it was okay. However, I also did try using the slow release, and then when that all expired, I used this one. So I'm gonna try this coming spring, summer to just only use this, because I have a ton of these, so that I could get rid of them, and then I could go with a different product or like a different company because of that. If you guys have any questions, advice, tips, anything that I didn't cover, or you want to chit chat about this fertilizer, or you need help in your plants, let me know down below. I love chit chatting with you guys. I always try to help as much as I can. I'll help you with the research, or I'll help you what I do know. And if you haven't yet, I hope you're going to like my video, as well as hit the subscribe button and the bell so you're notified every single time I do upload a new video. Kind of thinking, I'm just kind of thinking if there's anything else that I forgot. Oh, because this is what I was told by different growers and different nurseries is that Miracle-Gro does use human waste. So if you want to shy away from that, and you don't want to use that, then just so you know, that happens. I was told that never really bothered me. It doesn't stink. It has no like bad smell to it, because let me see. I have an open one right here, and this is actually 5 pounds. So it looks like this. It's blue, and it depending on your container and how fast you're really using it, make sure you shake it really hard, because you don't want it to be the first few pours you use from your container would be a little more on the lighter side, and then the later on would be more concentrated. That would not be good for your plant. So make sure you shake it all the way and all of them are dissolved. Again, no smell, nothing bad at all. I've used other fertilizers in which it does have a really pungent smell. This doesn't. Do I recommend this particular product? Yes, I do. I give it a 2 thumbs up. It does perform really beautifully. Again, follow the directions, and I do give it a 4 out of 5 stars. It does really well, but I just kind of wish the company wasn't so horrible when it comes to customer relations, because I really don't want to purchase their products anymore. Again, I have been a loyalist for Miracle-Gro. I have a ton of Miracle-Gro products, and it's just going to be time and use and how I'm going to get rid of it. So again, I do recommend it, but just make sure you keep your receipts, you scan it, you take a picture of it just so you have it on file in case something happens, because one of their products, well, a few of their products actually made my plants or my home infested in fungus gnats now. So just be aware of that. Also, if you are concerned about using this particular fertilizer for certain plants, especially outdoor plants, let me know down below. Certain plants aren't really going to go with this one. This is okay with vegetables, but there's actually more of a vegetable fertilizer that is actually geared towards vegetables from like different companies, but Miracle-Gro does that too. If you have certain plants like lilacs, I wouldn't really suggest you do this unless you're just trying to get them acclimated to your dirt. So that would be probably like the first year you planted it in your ground. You can do that. It will encourage the growth. However, it's not going to encourage all the blooms. But if you just want it to be established, that's great. They have different kinds, but again, this is all purpose. But if you want a more specialty fertilizer, plant food on certain plants, because certain plants really do require certain kind of NPK ratios and certain fertilizer and certain nutrients. So if you're okay to just give this to everything, that's okay. But certain plants might not be okay with this one too. So please do your research as well and just double check on your plants. Certain plants will not go with this, and certain plants will go really well, and certain plants would be kind of okay with this fertilizer. So if they're just going to be okay and there might be a better fertilizer for it, I would encourage you to get that better fertilizer, because you're just going to be wasting this product and your money. And from my personal experience, I only do transplant my plants when they outgrow the planter or the pot, because I fertilize every time I water. I know a lot of people don't do that. You see it online that certain plants you only fertilize in certain times of the year. I don't. I fertilize every single time I water. And you can keep this in a jug. It will not go bad. It will not go rancid. It will not stink at all. So you're fine with that. Like if you don't have a ton of plants, but you have a container, 1 gallon full of fertilizer for your indoor plants, like it's already mixed, you can keep it for weeks. It's fine. Don't worry about that. With this brand. With other fertilizers, it's going to be different. But with this brand, it will be okay. So a little bit goes a long way, and it is the most cost-effective fertilizer I have tried to date. So thank you guys so much. And again, any other questions, suggestions, comments, let me know down below. I'll see you guys again next time. Bye.